Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Iran says the US is guilty of grotesque interference in its internal affairs. Lawyers for Donald Trump have written to his former strategist Steve Bannon, accusing him of defaming the US president. Uganda is denying it has an agreement with Israel for migrants to be sent to the country. And at least 12 people are thought to have died after a train collided with a truck in South Africa and caught fire.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday to you. I hope that you're having a great start to this chilly morning. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Harden, and my very special guest today is Sergeant First Class, Mr. Jason Ward. Good morning.
Good morning.
He is a recruiter. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Good morning.
All right. He's a recruiter for the U.S. Army here are you located in Jonesboro?
I am a recruiter for the Arkansas National Guard here in
Oh
Jonesboro.
my gosh, I'm so sorry. Arkansas National Guard. And you're located here in Jonesboro?
Yes, my office is on campus in the ASU Military Science Building.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's get right into today's an abbreviated show, so I want to get as much information in as possible. So I'm going to stop talking and let you tell us more about your background, your career in the National Guard, and education benefits that you use to complete your degree at A-State.
Okay, well, I joined the National Guard in Missouri back in 1993.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. And I joined with a plan to complete a college degree. I was going to use the GI Bill. Back at that time, it was about $250 a month.
Okay.
And I went to Three Rivers Community College. The GI Bill pretty well covered that. And then I transferred down here to ASU.
Okay.
Not 2000. I graduated in 2000. Transferred in 98.
Okay.
And the GI Bill back then would just about cover tuition.
And what about books?
Books was out of pocket. My wife and I would work, save, and then spend all our money on our college education. But things have gotten a lot better since then.
Awesome.
The GI Bill is now $375 a month, and that's tax-free dollars.
Oh, wow.
And back in March, the governor signed Act 471 into law.
Okay.
Act 471 authorizes the state of Arkansas to pay tuition, 100% of remaining tuition for our guardsmen if they're attending schools like Arkansas State University, any state-funded school. All they have to do is apply for FAFSA and apply for the Universal Lottery Scholarship. Whatever's remaining of their tuition after that is covered by the state of Arkansas if they're in good standing with the Arkansas Guard and their university.
That is amazing. So great benefits and
Yes,
incentives. All right, to being a part of the Guard. So let's talk about the National Guard. Time of standard enlistment.
Standard enlistment is 6 years of active drilling status,
Okay.
with 2 years in a reserve status. Every military enlistment is 8 years.
Okay.
The option is how much of that time you spend actively participating with your training unit.
All right. What are some of the requirements as far as once you enlist, you're signed up and you're going through the basic training. Okay, so what's next after that?
Well, you sign up. If someone signed up with me this week,
Okay.
They would probably be waiting about 2 or 3 months to go to their basic training site.
Okay.
Basic training is 10 weeks at either South Carolina, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, or Fort Benning, Georgia. They're going to spend 10 weeks learning how to be a soldier. After that, they'll spend a few more weeks up to possibly 6 months, depending on what their MOS is. An MOS is a military occupation specialty. That's your Army job.
Okay.
And that's in various training locations. But they train with active duty for that basic training and AIT period, and then they come back home, usually after about 3.5 to 6 months.
Okay.
They come back home and they're training 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summertime with their unit.
All right, so once someone has gone through all of these phases, and we talked a little bit off air about how the National Guard can be deployed anywhere in the United States if there is some type of natural disaster or just a need that the local emergency personnel cannot handle. If someone is in their off-duty, inactive status,
The 28 days a month that they're a civilian?
Yes. And
Yes.
so what if something comes up? Can they be called in for service?
Typically with natural disaster, local natural disasters, the unit generates a list of volunteers, people who say, yes, I want to be available. I want you to call me if there's a weather disaster or something like that.
Okay.
And that's generally how it works, where it's a voluntary. You volunteer further. It's
Okay.
another step of volunteering, and then if we have an ice storm or a tornado, then the unit personnel pull that list and they start calling people, and they fill the mission. And normally, almost always, nobody is required to go that hasn't put their name on that list.
Okay.
Oftentimes, people who haven't put their name on that list call in because
Okay.
in that moment they see, I'm available. I want to help. I want to be part of this.
And it's wonderful that they choose to still serve. They see that the need is greater than themselves, and there's someone who can use their service, and they know what they signed up for. In essence, signed up to be a service of the people. I know that sounds so sorry.
That's what
Okay.
we do. We're soldiers, but we're soldiers committed to serve not just our nation in time of war, but also our state and our community, and in times of disaster, in times of need, to help those who need our help. What I say is that there's no other organization that will give you the training and equipment to serve your nation, state, and community like the National Guard.
And I must say, I truly appreciate the work that you all do. I've known several people that have gone through the program, and they're no longer in it, but because they've served their time. But I appreciate everything that you all do. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to make sure we get through some more of these details. Let's talk about state and federal missions. I think we kind of got into some
We
of the
did a
technical
little
training.
bit. The state and federal missions, we kind of covered
Okay.
that. We can be activated for state active duty, and that's, like I said, ice storms and tornadoes and things like that.
Okay.
Federal mission, people generally think of that as a combat mission,
Okay.
but last year I was able to go to Guatemala for 3 months
Okay.
and be part of a mission that built some school buildings, and we constructed a medical clinic and had some medical personnel come down and perform procedures for people and provide some care for the Guatemalan people. in
So
that-
you all are all over the place.
Yes, ma'am. And that was a federal mission, but it was non-combat.
Okay. All right. So that's the thing. Something that people need to understand, that it's not all about combat. There are just things you do because there's a need in the community. Now, if someone in the community, just say here in Jonesboro, they had a bigger project than maybe there was someone available to do it, can they call you all? I know there's some protocol and things
There
like that.
is some protocol, and I'm really not clear on what that protocol
Okay.
is. It would have to run through state government.
State, okay. All right, so it needs to be something super serious, and like all other options have been exhausted to call.
I really don't
Okay.
know.
Well, okay, if you would like to know more information, just reach out to Mr. Jason, and I'm sure he can look the information up and get the answers that you need. I'm sorry I asked all kind of questions. Okay, so let's get into the enlistment option. So are you all currently actively recruiting? Like, tell us how that process goes.
I'm recruiting all the time.
Okay.
If I go out to eat, and somebody looks like they're the right age and pretty healthy waiting on me at the restaurant, I'm going to ask them if they want to join the National Guard. I'm going to talk about that. We have the National Guard is about 7,000 people.
Okay.
And we're authorized 7,000, a little over 7,000. And with the people that are getting out this year, projected to get out this year, and the vacancies that we have, we need about 1,100 soldiers throughout the state. So yes, we are actively recruiting. The Bureau, National Guard Bureau, just released a new incentive program. There's a $20,000 bonus available for people who come into the National Guard, whether they've served before. Prior service can receive a $20,000 bonus if they qualify, and non-prior service, people who've never been in the military before, can receive that bonus as well if they qualify.
All right, let's talk about some of these qualifications then.
Okay. You have to, of course, you have to be physically fit.
Okay.
There's pretty extensive medical requirements.
Okay.
You have to be between 17 and 35 years old.
Okay.
Some law violations are acceptable, some are not.
Okay.
But talk to your recruiter, that's me,
All right.
to find out if you qualify.
All right. So basically, you do an extensive background check.
We do an extensive background
Okay.
check, yes. There's the regular enlistment is, standard enlistment is 6 years, and that 6 years is what qualifies people for that bonus that I mentioned, the GI Bill, and other benefits. There's federal tuition assistance available through the National Guard. Being a member is all it takes to get that Act 471 benefit, where the state pays your tuition.
Now, with a $20,000 bonus, can that be used towards anything that person wants?
Yes, that goes into their bank account, just like it's a cash bonus. The way that pays, because the National Guard wants to get their money's worth.
Yes.
We're given that bonus for a 6-year contract. So after completion of basic training in AIT, that new soldier will receive $10,000.
Okay.
The first $10,000 payment is processed, and then on the 3rd anniversary of their enlistment, another $5,000 payment is processed, and on the 5th anniversary of their enlistment, the final $5,000 is processed for payment.
I'm glad you verified that, so people aren't thinking, "Oh, I can sign up and get $20,000." No, you have to put some work in. I mean, it's like a job. You have to put some work in before you get a paycheck.
You have to remain in good standing with your unit in order to collect the full $20,000.
All right, so we hope that your office gets flooded this year with recruits, and we hope that a good portion of them make it. Well, all of them that sign up make it.
That's right.
Make it through the process. Okay, so let's talk about, if we haven't already gone through, the ROTC enlistment, and associated benefits, and then OCS enlistment.
Okay, ROTC stands for Reserve Officer Training Corps. That's actually a college program.
Okay.
It's a program that follows the same curriculum as the West Point Military Academy.
Cool.
And it's offered at Arkansas State University, right here in Jonesboro. College student can enroll in the classes, take a military science class. It's taking one extra class with a lab in order to participate in that. And through that, there are additional scholarships available.
Oh.
You have to have at least a 19 ACT score to qualify. You have to maintain the fitness standards and the medical standards of military membership.
Okay.
And their scholarships, standard scholarship is like $5,000 per semester, plus a $600 book allowance per semester. And as a contracted cadet, whether they receive a scholarship or not, they get an additional stipend, and that stipend ranges from $300 to $550 per month while they're in school, depending on what year they're in the program.
And that seems really awesome, because they need to be spending their time focusing on keeping their grades up, maintaining their coursework, whatever assignments they have. So having that stipend will hopefully keep them from trying to work and go to school and do the other.
Well, the ROTC program does take extra time, so they want to make sure that they're compensated for that time and effort that they're putting into becoming an officer. Because when they graduate from the ROTC program and graduate from college, they'll do that at the same time, hopefully.
Okay.
They're commissioned as a second lieutenant in either the active component or reserve component. The National Guard is a reserve component of the Army.
Okay. And so once someone graduates, what if they decide they want to get a master's or move in to a PhD program? Do you offer assistance with those as well?
Well, the federal tuition assistance is available for master's programs. Federal tuition assistance is $250 per credit hour,
Okay.
paid directly to the student for completing their education. It's just another way to help get more education into the minds of our soldiers.
Okay. So let's talk about where your office is located so we can get people directed to you to hopefully get enlisted.
Okay, I'm at 1921 Aggie Road.
So are you in the Armory building?
Yes, that old
Okay.
Armory building.
Okay. Now, so every now and then I see some students running. They all have the same shorts and t-shirts. Are they part of the National Guard?
That's ROTC.
ROTC.
ROTC is there on campus. They're in that same building, the old Armory building.
Okay.
And they have been for many, many years. That has been the military science building since around 1958
Wow.
until 2011. It also housed National Guard units.
Okay. All right, so we still have about 4 minutes or so. Can you give us some more information? Information you feel is vital for people to, I guess, get more interested and be more excited about enlisting and, other benefits that are available to them through signing up for the National Guard.
Well, one thing that we didn't talk about is the OCS enlistment.
That's right.
That's available for those people who've completed a degree or have at least 90 college hours toward a degree.
Okay.
And that's another officer-producing enlistment. And one thing that I wanted to talk about is a little bit of population distribution in the military compared to the regular population, the population of Arkansas. If you look at the distribution between black and white in Arkansas,
Okay.
it's about 73% white
Okay.
and about 16% black. If you look at the distribution of enlisted soldiers, it's pretty close to evenly represented there. About 73% of the enlisted soldiers in the National Guard throughout the United States is white,
Okay.
and about 18% is black.
Okay.
So there's a slight overrepresentation among black soldiers being in the enlisted ranks. But only 10% of our officers are black.
Okay.
And for those who would like the opportunity to lead the black community, there's a pretty good chunk of the black community in the National Guard.
We talk about representation in all aspects of life, any type of profession. There needs to be some equal representation of all ethnicities. And this would be a great opportunity for someone that is black. Or are you also trying to create diversity with other ethnic groups, say Hispanic, Latinos?
I want to provide the opportunity. I want to do what I can to provide the opportunity to serve in the National Guard to anyone who's interested in serving in the military. I want them to know what their options are. I want them to know that, yes, I can do a regular enlistment. And right now I can get a $20,000 bonus with that regular enlistment. Or I can do, if I'm a college student, I can enlist through the ROTC program and become an officer in the National Guard. Or if I've already completed a degree, or if I've completed most of a degree, I can enlist in the National Guard with a contract that puts me into officer candidate school right after basic training so that I become an officer within a year of my enlistment.
Wow. So there are a lot of advancement opportunities if people want to take advantage of them. And there's career advancement. I mean, from what I've learned, and of course I have no military educate. Like I don't know a lot like that. But I have seen people get into different branches, starting with the National Guard, and they're able to get into various careers. So it's not just I'm getting in the National Guard, I'm enlisting, I'm going to combat. I can go into other careers.
We have about 150 different job specialties for enlisted soldiers in the National Guard. We don't have quite that many in Arkansas, but we have a lot of support roles. There's allied trades, there's heat and air repair, there's diesel engine mechanic, there's wheeled vehicle mechanic. We have several medical specialties. We have a very broad spectrum of skills to be learned, and not paying for it, but getting paid for it. If you become a medic with the National Guard, you receive National Registry of Emergency Medical Technician, NREMT certification.
Okay.
So you can bring that back, register with the state of Arkansas, and be working as an EMT.
Oh wow. So we have about 2 minutes left, so this is your time to let you have all the time to wrap up. Any other information that you would like to share to, get people come on in and sign up?
Okay, well, I'd like to start with my phone number.
Please.
You can reach me at 870-324-2360, and I set up a email address for radio broadcasts because it's a whole lot easier to remember. NEA National Guard at gmail.com than it is to remember my military email address.
Okay, so that's NEA National Guard
at gmail.com.
Okay, that's really easy to remember. And let's go over that phone number one more time.
870-324-2360.
Alrighty, and I'll make sure to post this information on our Facebook page as well, so that you can reach out to Sergeant First Class Jason Ward. So I really thank you so much for giving us your time today and sharing information concerning the National Guard. And please forgive me for any mistakes that I've made. I'm still learning. And so we would love to see more people enlist. Your services are needed. You are needed for the services that the National Guard provides. Like you said, there are people that are leaving, that are graduating, and they need more people to fill those spots.
We have a constant turnover rate. It's a great opportunity for a career. You can have for someone who's interested in the military, but they also have a civilian career in mind.
Okay.
You can do both. Usually, people are presented with, your options are military, college, or workforce after high school. Well, with the National Guard, you can do military and college, military and workforce, and you can carry that military career throughout your life as a part-time career that has full-time benefits and even a retirement plan.
That's awesome. So please, 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 everyone that is interested, physically eligible, go see Sergeant Jason Ward. And he's located again in the Armory, what we all know as the Armory on Arkansas State University's campus. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas.